Hello virtual boys and girls, Ryan for the VR Grid here, back with another side-by-side comparison, this time for Kayak VR Mirage. And if it wasn't obvious, we'll be checking out the PCVR and PSVR 2 versions, with the PCVR visual settings cranked to max, save for the dynamic shadows which was set to high. I'm going to take you through all 4 stages at various points in each one, so while I won't be covering every single area in the game, I think I've covered enough. Before we get to it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and now there's a lot to get to, so let's get to it. So right off the hop, you'll notice the PC on the left and PSVR on the right. And one thing that's very clear is that they both look amazing. Now, one thing that you will notice is there is some screen tearing on the PSVR side of things. It doesn't show up in the game. It only shows up during the social screen display. I can't get rid of it. So if you see any tearing, you'll notice it in the paddles especially. Just ignore it. It's not there in VR. So yeah, as we see here, the rain is awesome. The haptics on the PSVR side of things actually are awesome. You can feel the rain on your hands, which is pretty slick. And the lighting effects in here are spot on amazing. You'll notice for the most part, they're pretty on point here. The reflections in the water are a little bit better with the lighting as far as the lightning goes, but really it's so nitpicky, it's ridiculous. Now one thing I will notice, and I'll pause it here in a second, is that the rock detail on the PC side of things just looks better. Like it actually looks like wetter, if you can believe that. And both, like I said, both still look amazing. I'll pause it here when they both line up perfectly. And you can just see that the detail on the PC side of things versus the PSVR, it's just more refined. And this is actually one of the very rare instances in the game where it is this noticeable. For the most part, the differences are negligible or even incomprehensible. But I did notice on this stage specifically that the rock faces just look sharper on the PC side of things. But once again, if you weren't looking for it or didn't know it was there, you wouldn't even notice it, because the PSVR version looks just as impressive once you're in the headset. Trust me. Now we're carrying on to the Arctic stage here for a cinematic moment. You'll notice the reflections in the water on the PC side also look just a little bit better. The Glacier in VR honestly looks the exact same as it falls into the water, but you can just see the amount of ripples in the water and the reflections on the PC side of things just look a little bit sharper. To say realistic, it doesn't make sense. It's almost like hyper real, but it's there, it's noticeable, and you will see that throughout this video. It just seems like there's just like more waves, or just the lighting effects on the waves are just a bit different. Here's a race now. I tried to get this as close as possible lined up. For the most part, you're not going to see too much of difference. What's funny is on the PC side or the PSVR side of things, there's a penguin on the right that's not on the PC side, which I thought was pretty funny. So little asset changes like that probably are occurring throughout the game between both versions, whatever, who knows why. Once again, you see the reflections in the water on the PC side of things just look a little bit deeper, like there's just more depth to them. But this is only in comparison video. I'll say it again. Once you're playing on PSVR, I'm telling you, you can still see as far down as you're allowed to, and it looks amazing. So here we go. One more time. Just like I said, just a deeper hues on the PCVR side of things. But once again, pretty spot on. And yeah, just some final moments. You can see up close, the ice details are pretty much on point. Doesn't matter. And then once again, the deeper hues here, I found the stage to look actually pretty bang on. You'll notice actually on the PSVR side of things, some of the foveated rendering happening on the edges of the screen where the rocks just look fuzzy. In VR, you wouldn't see that. It's just, a way to obviously maximize processing power on the PSVR side of things, PSVR 2 rather. And you will see that, like I said, you will notice that throughout this video, but in the headset, you can't see it. So if you're noticing less details on the rock faces, if I'm not facing those rocks, that's why. And once again, let's pause it right here. These reflections in the water, you can just see, like, they're damn near identical. To say there's a difference is just kind of crazy. Reflections in the water too, a little bit darker on the PC side of things, but once again, that could just be social screen capture. Like minimal differences. And I apologize also for my lack of skill at this. I'm not the best kayaker, as it turns out, but I'm trying. I'm getting better too. I was also playing on a bed, which didn't really help my form at all either. And yeah, you see the rock faces in the background. Like I said, it's so comparative. Looking straight down the lens, Details are right there. It does look sharper on the PC side of things, but I'm telling you, in the headset, there's no difference. Or at least, I didn't see it. And finally, take us to the Australian Outback. Actually, it's probably not the Outback. Where, I mean, this level to me looks so on point. There's actually deeper blacks. Like the shadows on the PSVR side of things look just a little more darker. That was something I definitely took away. And once again, the water detail looks really on point. I did notice just a little more in regards to... Oh, let me rewind that actually. I forgot to show that. Let's rewind that. Look at these shadows in the logs here. As we go through the logs, you'll see there's actually more shadows on the PSVR 2 side of things than the PCVR. You can see right there. There's just much more detail in the lighting. So I'm not sure what's changed in that point other than the fact that I did pick up on that. So, you know, like I said, that looks better on the PSVR 2 side of things. We'll keep it going. And yeah, like I said, you can just see the details on the PC side of things and on the water just look a little bit more clear, I guess, like crystal clear. But once again, this is only in side-by-side footage. Like, it's so, when you're in the headset, it's the amount of detail you're looking at is so impressive that, you know, like I said, I didn't notice any of this stuff until I was looking at side-by-side. When I was in the headset, I thought, damn, this is one of the best looking games on the PSVR 2 and on the PCVR headset. And like I said, these versions to me are damn near interchangeable. Yeah, once again, you can see that back cliff face there. To me, you know, like I said, you couldn't tell which version you're looking at if I didn't have them labeled. And we'll finish off this shoddy race here. And yeah, guys, that's basically it. The rest of this race, you're not going to see too much in the way of differences. It's Kayak VR. This is a $22 US game. And for that price alone, for the visuals you get, it's worth it. The fact there's some pretty solid kayak physics in here. Racing and just chilling, cruising around and exploring is awesome. I am in love with this game all over again, and you should be too. And yeah, that's my Kayak VR Mirage comparison video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching.